If you see them on the battlefield, they brag that they're the ones who use aura, and possesses extraordinary power. They're really annoying. But they're not that scary in the end. Because if you're beheaded, even the AI will die. Maria can cut me off. Let's explain later. Let's get started. I think you'll learn faster. If you take in the body instead of the head. Ronaldo looked at the way she guessed. Well, she's just a young girl. Maria immediately launched towards Ronaldo. He widened his eyes suddenly at the terrible speed. The sound of swords touching each other makes the sound of nails. I glanced at you. Oh. That's impressive. Facing the face behind her weapon. Ronan and Maria Sen are in a very intense fight. 3 swords fighting each other. Ronan thought, oh look. Your sword and I slammed each other. It's a relatively strong force. I suddenly thought in my mind. She was so young and she was so strong. She's using a double sword. Maria is somewhat worried. I don't know. But is this some kind of mana strategy? When you see him suddenly, you wonder yourself. What does this guy do? You two are still fighting with each other. You're thinking in your head, I was going to finish him off in one shot. I was going to show him the power of mana, and made him drop the test. So, it's better to be humiliated at the checkpoint. But I was the one who was pushed back. This might be the skill of someone who can't use it. Where? I can't believe you asked her what she was thinking. While being careless, she was pushed back and tossed her sword again. His eyes suddenly lit up like a cat's eyes at night. He held up the sword. And then I yelled, don't stop. She was surprised when his sword swung down. Fortunately, you were in time. She jumps and slides away for a while. The sound of the sword rubbing against the ground to make the cry that binds the ears. She breathed. If I had been slow, something might have happened. You're not ordinary at all. He smiled and replied, you too. He drew his sword and continued. Apart from Mana Ra, you are also very talented swordsmanship, but your focus is a little unstable. Then I turned around and left without forgetting to say another word. If you can fix it, you'll be much better. I suddenly asked, where are you going? You are angry? My sword is pointing at you. Don't tell me you think you won. You can calmly answer the question. Remember to keep your promise. You said it, not Sao. 3 times your eyes widened suddenly. She hesitated to say, you don't always ignore her and go on. Remember the price of the sword. You're in the mood for surprise, and don't know what to say. There's that AI finger touching your back. The person hesitated. Well, that asshole. I know how you feel right now, laughing. Well done, suddenly that AI is calling you. Come on, asshole, I'm tired. You faltered yes. She's standing there wondering who they are. I saw that asshole had just arrived, so I asked her why she was so slow. You just laugh. The sky today is cloudy and very clear blue. It's a sign that today is a beautiful day. People are busy shipping goods. Somebody said, I'm just here to get the money. You and a seal? With a sudden look at what's in front of you. I asked, but what is it? In front of them are books. It's neatly stored into briefcases. She replied yes, that's what you need to learn for your theory test. Philippine, I've put it together. You're not kidding, you don't have to. Check it out a month later. To a seal eyes light up like Sao. I calmly asked back, you need to, but why do you have to? He opened the sword in front of her. If you're plotting something bad, you say it. No, don't worry. I just like you guys. Then she laughed again. Ha ha ha. Continued. I'm doing this because I want you to park. Of course it's free. A seal's face sounds hypnotized. I'm breathing, if it's free. She said Chen at his word. If possible, I'd like to teach you to alone, but now I have to go. She punched him in the chest, laughing. Study hard there. If you still fail like this, I won't ignore it. Understand. He smiled back. You have to work hard too. She sat in the carriage and waved, laughing. See you in the capital on the day of the test. Remember to read the whole book. I looked down at my hand thinking. I have to train my weak body. I also need to learn, because I can't get lucky. But this feeling is very NT0. Ronan's life after returning home. It's the same as in the past, but there have been minor changes. He ate with Arrow, so much that he surprised her. You look delicious. You eat so much that your stomach is stretched after every meal. Arrow is happy to say that your brother is eating well. Besides, I also started hunting monsters in the suburbs, the village, and start to increase their resilience and adaptability. He gently gathered his sword to breathe. On the ground are the monsters lying there. They were defeated by you. You tell yourself. It's okay like this today. I hunt monsters a lot. There were no monsters around the village. Gold again. Besides, I'm learning. It's unimaginable for a disciplined soldier. I said, wait a minute. Why do I have to remember the food rules of the North? Even if you don't know the results. But I still do my best. Seeping away a month quickly passed. It's a beautiful day, a sign of good luck. Valen capital city popped up with a bow. Electricity and magnificent house. Magnificent in the center of the capital. It's the largest educational institution in the empire. The little city of White Tower. Axel suddenly said this was. Philippine Sao is so beautiful. It's too big. What did Ronan say you were doing in the middle of the road, Axel? You don't have to be a barbarian anymore. Come on in, we're late for the test now. Axel Ronaldo reproached and hesitated to say sorry. When you hear it, ask again. Why do you talk like that? Axel replied, nothing. I'm just amazed. It's been a month where you've grown a lot. Ronaldo, you put your hands on your hips, helpless to ask. And then you just clenched your head. Stop talking nonsense and come on in. You're screaming at the head. Turn around, I thought. I remember being in the Philippines. Maybe I'll meet him. The one Ronan thought of was the holy Swordsman. Is a descendant of Grancha? A clan of swordsmanship. He was considered the greatest genius in the empire. I think he must be my age. Maybe I'll meet you at the test. But it doesn't matter. I was thinking, Axel asked, but Ronan, do you have that? I wonder, what is that? You said ass hair last time. It could lead us to the owner of that bird. He said, I thought you said something else. I took that bird's feather and said, I brought it with me because I remember that he lives in the capital. I'm going to visit him after the test. The hair points up. I was stunned at the top floor. The sun shining through the glass door. A sigh with the voice of that AI. It's not easy. I'm not used to this professor's job. Should I go back to research? The bird landed on this man's shoulder. Cry out every happy ear. He stroked the little bird and said happily, Are you cheering me on, Mark Pet? We have to keep trying. To thank the hero who saved you. The man who's talking now is my professor of zoology. Filian Varen. His characteristic fantasy is the lion? He asked the little bird gently. Okay, let's open the window. And if our hero comes by today, it's going to be a lot of trouble. Outside the window is Ronan with a grim smile looked at him and said, I haven't even knocked. But it's opening itself. Oh, was that the blue bird before? So, you're the owner of Sao Beast? Varen and the frightened blue bird stand still. The cry of fear of lions and birds as it's an echo from the palace. Then Var on fantasy panicked hugging the mape said, Who are you? How to get back in here? This is one of the highest levels. Ronan scratched his ears. You scared me to death for being deaf. Axel climbed in from the window. That's why I said, take the stairs. He hugged it tightly and asked, You follow my Macbeth, right? Now I'm holding out a blue feather. Var on fantasy amazing hairy stock. You're like realizing something's stopping you. These are the saviors who saved my baby. All three of you are sitting down right now. He said, the son in front of you, my benefactor that I seven to. Okay, I hope you can ignore Cho. Ronan said, I said no. Why? He kept repeating. If you want to clean it up, it's his fault. It's climbing out the window. Axel looked at me and said, Hey, who told me to use the remote control? Because I see a hide. The problem is Ronan. He squeezed his cheek, causing Axel to make a sound. Ronan says order. But the point is, I can't imagine Ra, an extremely rare demi-human sphinx. He is the owner of that bird. He continued while holding onto Axel's cheeks. It makes you struggle to escape. And a professor in the Philippines. Var on fantasy scratched his cheek sheepishly replied. I was surprised too. Not expecting. Our hero is a contestant in the academy. Hey, it's embarrassing. If I had known I would have written you a letter of recommendation. But today is exam day. I hope that doesn't happen. But if you fail, he grumbled. Why did you say those unfortunate words? It's not cool. We're here to ask you something. You know, we don't have much time. Then Ronald showed me a purple object. What is this? That green bird gave birth to it. He adjusted his panic glasses. What is a pet map? This is a dreamy egg. Var on fantasy took the egg and asked back. You said Maple Story gave birth to it. I calmly replied. What's so surprising about birds laying eggs? You're warm. It's not just a normal bird. It's not a dream. But what's even more amazing is that I don't know what this egg will hatch. Ronan's wondering what you said. If it's a bird's egg, it's a bird. Fantasy Varan shook his head against the dream is different. Depending on the surrounding environment, ostrich eggs will absorb the unique mana and lay eggs. Let's say there's lava around. The egg will hatch a phoenix of fire. In the monster's nest, the bird will take the form of that monster. And so on. And there's also things that come out of eggs. There's no shape of a bird? Of course, if I can analyze the mana out of that egg. Predicting the morphology of the ostrich in the egg, it's not impossible. But this egg. He looked at the egg. Up the energy with many vibrant colors mixed together. There are a lot of mana schools. It's like training Kim. They melt and they mix. It's hard to be sure now. What is this egg? Ronan was surprised. There's only one egg, and you put so much thought into it. He turned to Mark Pet. This dishonest guy, where did you go to lay this egg? He tilted his head for a few hours. I was stunned. I've never met a bird with such a thick face. Var on Fantasy serious facial expression says, so, I'm asking you, can you take care of this egg? Well, said Ronan, I don't have a problem. I asked you why it was precious. He replied, of course, all my life, I have dreamed of being born only once. But, if it's laying this egg in front of you, my benefactor, I'm sure Mark Pet felt something special. He gladly looked over to it. Put your hand on Mark Pet's neck. Make it happy, make it cry. Taken then Var on Fantasy said. I also want respect. My friend has been my friend for a long time, so I'm going to give this egg back to you. Ronan took the egg and looked at it and said. It doesn't matter. I'm also curious. I don't know what's going to come out of this shell. It's too late. It's all done. Give us your permission. I stand up and leave. Varian Fantasy said that. Wait a minute. I kept thinking about what to give you. But I just remembered something really cool. He turned around to get it. Var on Fantasy held out a roll of paper saying, here, take this. It'll help you hatch that egg. Both of you have puzzled faces. You ask this. A while later, practice test hall Galleon Palace. Waiting room for candidates. There are many people who are praying. Someone checks the weapons. Supervisor stepped out notice. Candidate No. 111 has completed the exam. Please call candidate number 112. The shivering man stood up and said yes. The door opened, and he walked in. Ronaldo thinks 112, and I'm next. He crossed his legs with one hand on his chin. They waited a long time. Do you feel that way? Maria the blonde next door replied. It's not a test. Ronan looked at her and asked why she was wearing that. Don't you feel uncomfortable? Maria happily replied, I mean it. The Philippines is the private academy of all nobles. In the future they will be guests. So of course I shouldn't have spread it. Right, she mischievously blinks her hands and makes an ostrich move. You are powerless to say. You're very thoughtful. Maria sat down in her chair complaining. It's good to have our baby here. Sorry Ronan didn't take care. How to do it. The magic exam hall is somewhere else. He's not crying, I'm glad. The director continues to announce. Candidate number 112 has completed the test. Next please invite candidate No. 113. The guy who came out with a dry face. Mouth murmuring, I'm done. Ronan stood up and said it was my turn. Maria refreshing motivator. Don't worry, do as much as I say. If you lose 7, I won't leave you alone. You go ahead and wave, you know. Thank you for the warm support. I'll be back later. Ronan seriously observed. I think these guys are Philian's professors. In front of you are 5 professors sitting, with a majestic demeanor. Ronan looked through each evaluator in his mind. They all looked great. The old man in the middle. He looked at the old man, from sitting in the middle of 5 people. President of the Philian Academy of Wizards. Ronan looked to the left and thought. That woman also exudes an overwhelming temperament. I rarely felt this pressure in my previous life. That's Holy Sword teacher Navi Rose. I bow to you as Ronan. The principal said it was nice to meet you. Ronan, I'm the principal of the Philippine Grava Creation Academy. You're going to fight a magic doll. So, you can show off your technique. You've decided. Will you show us any tricks? I looked at the doll. Well, it's nothing special. It's just a quick sword. I think that's enough. The professor looked at a man who said. A simple slash without using mana. HM didn't have such a candidate. Some names. Just judging the looks of the magic dolls. And say those stupid things. He laughed at the person next to him. The old man next to him replied, well, from a distant country, you may not know. Even if it looks like that, but the doll has the defensive power to overcome, or, and can recover very quickly. It's an exquisite product of magic. The blonde man whispered. Even Chilla fan sword. Some genius doesn't leave a trace. I don't know what this guy is going to show me. The person next to me replied. Who knows, if he tore it in half. The blonde professor laughed at him. You're funny. The principal is afraid to look at you. I heard it all. He's right in front of you. They can even say things like that. If this child can prove them wrong, why? Are you surprised to open your eyes? Why does he have that kind of energy at this age? Ronan stomped on the ground and got a little bit of momentum. He rushed to cut right into the doll's neck. The astonishing female professor opened her mouth wide. Ronan Cho recaptured into the shell. I looked at the professors and said, you're done. The 2 professors laughed at the sky. I can't believe that only 1 sword is done. Kia continued to grade the part. This exam is a bit messy. Do you think so, principal? The principal was stunned to say nothing. Suddenly Navi Rose stomped hard on the table. It startled him. Professor Navi Rose. She rushed forward with her ferocious gaze aimed straight at Ronan's neck. I didn't dodge, Navi Rose. Ronan looked down and said, you threatened me and asked who you were. That sword is who taught you. Navi Rose on the other side. And then Ronan asked me again what I learned from the AI. Navi Rose said, we'll change the question. Have you seen my sword? Your face is expressionless. Yes. Your sword is awesome. It is difficult to draw the sword so suddenly. He swung his sword 3 times. Navarose said it right 3 times. Just like what you showed us. That arrogant sword of yours. Ronan looked at her in surprise. Navarose continues, you thought I didn't know why. That scarecrow scarecrows you. You deliberately slashed the last. It's slow in case we can't see. As if you have a heart. You have forgotten where you are. The principal looked away quietly. The professors are suspicious. We're looking at something like this. Ronald rolled his eyes thinking there was a misunderstanding. I just adjust the hand. I thought the sword would not hold. That last cut. Look at Kia's face. Looks like she won't believe her word. Navi Rose turned around and said, I will remember your face. Are you surprised? That's all? She turned her head near the voice. Surely my own hand will teach you. Ronan was afraid that Ra wasn't over. Navi Rose sat down in her chair. The director looks at you thinking, surely my own hand will teach you. I think she wants to take him as a disciple. God seems to need more attention. He looked at Ronan and said, well done, Ronan. Then we'll finish the exam today. With a question. The answer is open. So, just say what you think makes the most sense. Ronan, what do you want to learn when you go to the Filian Academy? Ronan seriously, he said, I wonder. How should I answer your question? Do something so you don't have to regret it. That's the first thing I wanted to learn. The principal rolled his eyes at this answer. He was silent for a moment and said, I understood. You're out, Ronan. The gate is closed. Gravakrasha, repeat the sentence. Do something so you don't have to regret it. What a mess. I don't know what I'm going to teach him. The professor next door spoke up. What's going on? By Professor Navi Rose. It's all day now, principal. What's that kid doing? You two are like this. What tricks does it use? You said tricks. It's also a good way to explain. The magic doll suddenly broke off. The principal continued, actually, maybe we should call him a genius. The 2 professors rolled their eyes and opened their mouths in amazement. Magic doll? The head of the figure fell out, rolling whirlwind feathers on the ground. I'm thinking about your grandmother's sword just now. Even in my previous life, I'm not sure I won either. I think I've met a worthy opponent. But it seems like a long way to go. He smiled with self-encouragement. In the heart, I think it was a good first step to the Philippines. If it's here, I'm sure I'll learn a lot. Now it's just a written test. I remember it all this month. It should be easy after the line. The paleface said it was easy. I'm totally fucked. It's true that my life is wrapped in a pillow. Maria was stunned. I can't believe he couldn't even do half of it. Why is that? I remember telling him to see what was in the bag. Assel answered that. He took it to school and put it in a bag. He was so focused that he forgot his pair. You said it was because of me. If I had reminded him, it wouldn't have been. Maria gritted her teeth. You are so stupid that you can survive. That's when the test ended. He's like this forever, when the results come out. She lifted up Ronan's hands and encouraged him. You know, don't frown. Practice is still more important than no sao. With your skills, I'm sure. Suddenly a magic circle appears. Some people say, look, it's working. All 3 looked up. A long list appears in the air. Assel asked if that was the list of applicants. Maria's worried faster than I thought. For above right magic department. Axel grade 12 practice, grade 1 theory BA faculty. Martial arts Maria Sen Cara Bell 9th grade practice. 9th grade theory. They both looked at each other for a moment. Maria suddenly scoffed. She put her hands around her neck and yelled, we're parked. Assel, you even got first class theory. Maria gave him a hand rubbing his head. Assel La asked, really? She said it's written on it. Even if there are 2 people with the same rank as you, but it's still first class. Very good baby. Maria rubbed his head. Assel excitedly. Maybe I'm lucky. Like remembering something. Maria turned her head and asked, Ronan, what grade are you? Ronan stood there motionless. Your face collapsed weakly said. I know without my name. Why do people like me get into the academy? Maria was stunned. Ronan. Assel said it was impossible. She approached the ball. Ronaldo's eyes screamed. Don't joke. Look closely. It's impossible. Ronaldo replied. No, I've read every name. I told you. I was so bad that something flew by. Crashed into the school gate. Everybody startled. Ronan raised his face and asked what was happening. Maria replied, fire. End of the input test. It's for the valedictorian. Phoenix fire. A phoenix with flaming fur appeared. It flaps its wings and shoots out a fireball. The sphere flew straight towards Ronan, and I was surprised. Then a big explosion happened. Fortunately, Ronan wasn't made SAO. 5 lines appeared in the air. Ronan first class martial arts practice valedictorian. 5.712 theoretical grade. Rated 5.712 theory. All 3 were in shock. Maria and Axel hugged him and shouted congratulations. Maria said that, and you're the martial arts valedictorian. You're a good communicator, Ronan, you're the valedictorian. Ronan stiffened and let out an unpleasant cry. She rubbed your head and said I knew you were a genius. Ronan laughed. I guess I have a good eye. Suddenly in my heart, I realize, wait, if I rank first, that means he lost to me, not with his personality. There's no way he'll leave it like this. This is a bit strange. Now, in the back of Ronan, there's a black-haired man approaching. He spoke up. So, it's Mr. Sao who got first place on the practice test. I was startled to think damn. I knew we had to face each other like this. Holy sword steel fan man with blue eyes. Kia's cold voice was staring at Ronan. After the results of the valedictorian appeared, Steel Fan Grancha from afar goes towards Ronan. Other students saw him. It's amazing and amazing. He's a CF fan. I didn't expect to meet the rising Sao of the Empire. Here Maria sensees Chili F. The fans who come to them should inform Ronaldo. Ronaldo seems to want to talk to you. Axel next to him was afraid of his voice. The air around him is scary. Ronaldo gritted his teeth in his head. It's too annoying. He is still the same as before. I can't stand anyone better at swordsmanship. He was brought back to life, so I know him very well. Arrogant attitude with sharp eyes. I want to swallow Ronan. It makes you more sure. That cruel attitude. Ronald didn't want to get into trouble. Should want to avoid Chili fans as far as possible. I need to avoid conflict. Even if you think about your own ranking, but you still pretend you don't know what to say. I ranked first. I didn't know that either. No, he still didn't say a word. That face still scowled at Ronan. This time Chili fans clenched their hands and asked Sao questions like lying. Ronan was also helpless to answer. What do you mean? I don't know. Why do you want proof? Don't mess with me, just keep going. In one hand, he gripped the holy sword at his side. Repeat your words. Evidence. Let me show you. End of Chili. The fan drew the sword and immediately swung it at Ronan. But you can easily use your sword. Hit it away from the sword. Ronan also suffers from Stellafan actions. Threat to horror. Maria and Axel were behind the scenes. They are all threatened, screaming out your name Ronan. Then Shirley Fan, deliberately doing so to validate one's own speculation, finally spoke up. Is this enough? If you're not in line, you can't stop that blow. The students also saw this amazing scene. We are fighting. Show me the skills that make sentences pass me by. He seriously asked Ronaldo. You are suffering from crazy actions. Chilean fan fisting for angry, to curse a word. This crazy person can't stand it anymore. Ronan also agreed to his wishes. If you like it here in the afternoon, and in the blink of an eye, he quickly swung his sword in his hand towards Chili Fan. Ronan's face, it's also become very scary. Let me show you. He turned his sword towards him. But Steel fans were also stunned to see the sword force coming, instinctively swinging the holy sword in your hand to support, of course, with a swordsman like Steel Fan. We can also fend off that attack from Ronan. You're like a Steel Fan who's forced to attack you. He gave a blow to please Steel Fan to speak up. Fucking fun. Outsiders will think he's easy to catch. Only Chili. The fans know best. The hand of his sword kept trembling. But really, fans can't help but admit Ronaldo's swordsmanship talent. Which one did you get a high score for? Good technique. But just as I thought. He didn't give up. He wants to compete with Ronaldo. That wasn't enough to beat me. I just held Steel's fan's sword. Just threatened Cho shouted to reassure him. Wait, you're out of your mind. Calm down, Steel. Fans know Ronaldo's abilities. It's not easy to deal with that. Don't hide the power. His face right now. It's also become very scary. Staring at Ronaldo I can't. Acceptable. Finish talking. Chloe Fan continues to swing the attack again. Ronan also cried out with difficulty. In your head, this is a lot of insults in the face of blind behavior about his swordsmanship. This idiot, he's going to risk his life. That's why I didn't want to meet him. At this rate, he will start using aura. The situation is becoming more and more out of control. When STF Fan, frantically attacking Ronan, it's bad. It creates a tornado with a single stroke of a sword. The powerful aura is known as the Sword Storm. Based on the memories of a past life, Ronan knows the danger. It's hard to stop with your strength right now. I can't fight it. I was fighting Chloe fans in the air. Ronan turned and ran away. You seem to have it in your heart. Think of something to deal with. With him the chiffon over there. As if to devour Ronan. I can understand your thinking and shout. What are you doing? Turn your back on your opponent in a match. Ronan's sword was suddenly placed on Axel's shoulder. I don't understand if you're watching. Your actions are against people. Shilly fan still chasing after to scream. You thought I was going to miss. Afraid a seal stuttered Ronan Sao is me again. Shirley fan. He saw Ronan's actions with anger and contempt. Cursing the coward. Use a lady as a shield. He called himself a knight. But Axel, he misunderstands his own gender. It's embarrassing. Explain that I'm a boy. Ronan laughed loudly. Maybe you've succeeded. Chloe fan hit her successor. To exclaim a sentence. As I thought, your personality doesn't change. Even about to die. You'll still defend the honor of a knight. Just finish Ronan. Big smile ghost. Punch him in the face with no small force. Axel next to you is being used as a tool. Chili fans were also horrified. Then Chili effin was beaten up and groaned for an hour. He crouched one leg down and hugged his face. You have to use the holy sword in your hand. Ronan takes advantage of this opportunity to shout at Axel and Maria. It makes you scared and shiver. Right now Axel Maria runs. Ronan's scream thundered out loud. Where's Chili effin hugging bewildered face? Don't understand what? He shouted for Ronan's group to wait. It's time. Chanel fans want to wake up to what's going on. Then they've run away. The remote security team goes to. The bald man came running. What's over there? I heard there was a fight. He didn't finish the sentence. The scene in front of you keeps you. Esley fan's face injured by Ronaldo. Nose blood flows down. The old man panicked. Oh my god, Mr. Esley fan. He was in a hurry to ask why. Are you okay? Who would dare to do that to you? Please describe those people. The academy security team will chase. The bald man didn't finish his sentence. He was told by Chili. Cross-section fan. No need for air travel. I'm not a son of a duke now. It's just a candidate with civilian status. He spoke up to explain. To reassure the security team. You don't have to worry. This is a fair fight. I'll take care of it myself. Chili fans continue. Just got back in the spirit of dusting off all the dirt on my clothes. Suddenly something caught his attention. It's the holy sword that has a crack. It's cracked. This is a sword made from midran. I thought my sword skills are not outstanding. But Steel fans thought wrong about Ronan's real skills. It made him think twice. The last match between them made. Steel fans are more amazing, but did not expect. He can make a sword like this. He laughed softly for an hour. That's interesting. Ronan STF fan seems to have his own thoughts. The more I think about it, the more I'm curious about this guy. I'll remember this name, STF fan said to himself. The next day in an early morning. Clear blue sky on the outskirts of the forest capital of Zhehuang. Ronan stepped inside. He looked at the map and told Axel. It's definitely around here. You go, you're so tired after that. Asil wiped his sweat and asked Ronaldo. Is it okay if we do that? Ronaldo didn't understand your question. What do you do when you turn around? Axel recalls the match between Ronaldo and Chili. Fans yesterday. No, I'm talking about the guy you beat up yesterday. I heard he's the heir to the Duke's family. The Grancha family is second only to the royal family. You broke his nose. Axel's heart is filled with insecurity and his body trembles. 7. Ask him if he wants revenge. Ronan, next to him, still calmly look at the map to sound calm. Don't worry. He's a good guy, he's just got the same swordsmanship. He always maintained his principles and his faith. It's everyone's ideal model of a hero. Always protect the weak, or so to speak, the image of a perfect noble. Ronan lives again. You can easily understand the personality, the human nature of Chloe fan. Ronan guessed correctly, what he said to the team. Security yesterday. Explained to Axel. Maybe he'll talk. What happened yesterday was a fair fight. Or we're behind bars now. Ronan's answers also made Axel gradually become calm. But think about it. It's true to think about it. I put this aside. But back to their main problem right now. But more importantly, look over there. I think we're there. The spirit vessel that Professor Varenne mentioned. In front of the two of them was a blue river. Ronald sowed the cheer. I'm glad to find the place the professor mentioned. Source Fernando. I don't know why. Mana flows around the world and gathers in one place, creating these waters called the spirit vessels. With its existence, mana will permeate the surrounding area. A normal stone can become a mana stone. High grade, and a weed that's turned into a miracle herb. It's famous for its magical properties. Ronan looked at the water flowing in front of him. Never stopped complaining. Its value cannot be measured. And most people tried to take it. That professor is so generous. Remember when Professor Varenne take a map to the Linjiang and the task he gave. And yet, let us come to this place to incubate an egg. Do you think Abel feels different? Ronan asked him. This time Axel, you also feel the difference in the power of self. Look at the magic in your hand. This is the first time I've felt the amount of mana. It is concentrated in one place. If